We're sitting here with Charles Fick Jr. and having a really good conversation about his art and many thoughts about how he became an artist. My first question to you, Charles, is
Yes.
why do you sign your artwork CHCH?
Well, the reason why I started CHCH is because my name's Chip. My nickname's Chip. My real name's Charles. So I kind of had an art title for myself, CHCH for Charles Chip. And then I turned to Charles Chipperfield as like a fun name, more catchier name for the art and stuff. And it was CHCH is Charles and Chip, or Chipperfield, whatever you want to call it. And it makes it very unique, just CHCH.
So as an artist, you are, in a kind of unique way, creating your own name for people and your own identity.
Yeah.
Can you tell us, why did you do that? It was a creative way to identify yourself?
Actually, it is. It makes it very unique, And when somebody looks at a painting, they say, "Who's CHCH?" And it's one of those ideas for signature for the paint for the canvases.
It's a really cool story. Thank you.
Okay.
Moments ago, you were telling me about how you got started as an artist, and you have a relative who was inspirational to you. And
Yes.
Can you tell us
Yes.
that story again?
What happened was back in 2010. All right, I was living with my uncle, and my uncle's an artist, and
A local artist.
local artist. Yes, he used to live in Ireland, and he used to paint over there too for commissions. And when he came back, he had my grandmother's house after she passed away. And what happened was I was living with him in 2010, and as I was living with him, I was looking at his paintings and stuff because I was always fascinated.
And he had a lot of paintings around the house.
Yes. I was always fascinated by art. I never thought I could ever do it, but I wanted to try it. So as I was talking to him, I was like, "Is it okay if I try to do a painting? Would you let me have a canvas and some paint so I could try a painting for myself?" So what he did was he said, "Well, you're going to learn to paint while you're living here." So anyways, he took me out to AC Moore and spent almost $300 in art supplies, brushes, canvases, paints, an easel, all kinds of cool things. And when I got home, I tried my very first painting and stuff.
That same day when you came home.
Yes, it was at night too. And I was like, I tried a painting, I took the stuff to my room, set it up, and I did a painting. And when I was done with it, I took it down to him. And he was telling me, he said, "You need to keep painting because it's very detailed and very deep in colors and stuff like that. I have a good balance of colors and stuff when it comes to art."
How great to have great inspiration, a great mentor like that.
Yes. I had other influences though. I love the museum.
The Reading Museum.
Yes, I love the Reading Museum. I like museums. They're fun. They're really fun to go to and stuff like that. That kind of inspired me to want to paint too somewhat.
Tell us about museums. You're really the first artist we've been interviewing that's brought up the concept of museums. What does a museum do for you, or what happens when you're in a museum?
When I'm in a museum, my imagination starts to develop my own kind of art. I know I'm not a Picasso, but I forget how to explain that. You know how Picasso had two different names and stuff, and he put it together to make it and called himself Picasso. That's also another reason why I made my name CH. But when I go to museums, I love art.
Do you gravitate towards certain kinds of art when you're in a museum, or when you're noticing the work of other people? Are there things that are more influential to you or even more attractive to you?
I like things like kind of like martial art kind of things,
Okay,
you know,
okay.
things that have to do with Egypt, you know, and stuff like that. I used to draw my own Egyptian hieroglyphics, you know, with pencil, or Japanese things, you know, stuff like that.
Good. You've got some beautiful pieces in here, and out in the gallery, you've got lots and lots of beautiful pieces.
Okay, thank you.
Can you tell us what goes on when you're painting? When we look at these things, these paintings? Can you maybe tell us a little bit about each one of them?
Well, this one here, the reason why I have different colors in the bricks, it is a brick wall. And it just kind of describes climbing a wall in life. It goes in all different directions, all different colors, and that's why I call it the wall, because, you know, in life it's like, as we're alive, we're climbing a wall for success, you know, and eventually we get to the top. The apple over there, I've been to New York one time only, but I loved it. When I went to Coney Island, Brooklyn, you know, stuff like that for a bus tour. And when I was in New York, I like wanted to cross the street when the light turned red, you know, like you see in Rush Hour and stuff. I actually did a painting that's actually supposed to go with that, though. It's Elijah Faces, but I call it Rush Hour. That one there is called the Big Apple.
What was so attractive to you about New York? And do you expect to be going back there someday?
I would like to go back to New York sometime. I have dreams about New York sometimes too, you know, but it's just exciting, you know. Just that they have a lot of things that you can do in New York.
New York has got a lot going on. Tell us
Yes.
about this painting here. It looks like it's a face.
It is. That's in detail of a forensic person. Somebody having it's called frenzy. It's in the description of how someone's feeling at the moment and stuff, you know. It's all in fun too, you know, it's not a bad thing. But it's all in fun too. It has all the colors in it and stuff like that, you know.
So what goes on when someone is in a frenzy? What does the painting at least express to you?
Well, that they're having a hard time, and when it comes to stress, you know, it's like somebody having a lot of stress and stuff like that. It's a good painting, though.
It's beautiful. Tell us, how do the ideas for your paintings come to you? Do you like plan them out ahead of time? Does it begin to happen when you're painting?
I could tell you about that.
We want to hear about it.
All right. There is times when I have money and I get to get canvases. I get 20 packs of canvases, 16 by 20s. And I could paint them in 2 days.
You could paint them all in 2 days.
Yeah. A lot of times I might have an idea for 1 or 2 paintings. So I'll put it on an easel. I'll paint this, paint that. I get other ideas. It starts to flow. Other ideas start to come to mind and stuff, and I'm there painting and painting and painting. I could start out with 1, and by the time the night's over, I could have like 7 at the most.
Wow.
Sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 7. Sometimes I might have like a week or a couple days or a month where I don't really have ideas, and then when they come to me, I knock them out like that. You know, I kind of like paint this one, this one, this one, this one, that one.
So it's interesting what you're saying. On the one hand, you might have paint block, and then an idea comes to you.
Yeah, and then
it starts a flow of paintings.
Correct.
Wow. So when you're painting 20 canvases in maybe 2 or 3 days,
Yes.
is this exhausting for you, or
No,
is it
no.
exhilarating?
It's
Does
exhilarating.
it gives you energy?
Because I accomplished some really neat stuff. I could hang it up, put it up, get up to the mirror, and look at it that way, and look at it this way. I'm like, oh wow, this is cool. Go to the next one. I like this one too. You know, I feel good when I paint. I like to create. You know, I like to see what I created and stuff. You know.
Good.
What happens is when I paint, I'll put down what I want first on that painting, on that canvas. I let it dry. And then I go to a different painting and do a different design, and then another. Then as they dry, as I'm moving along, what happens is they dry, then I get to do the rest, let that dry. So I'm here painting like 7 paintings at one time.
So you've got a lot going on, and
Yeah,
the drying helps out to move to the next stage of the paint.
Yes, yes. Kind of gotta wait for it to dry, because you don't want to create mud, you know. Back in the day, I might have had a little mud in some of my pictures until I realized you gotta let it dry first. A lot of times I start out with the color black too. It's always black for like see how that's black.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it goes like that, and so everything's starts out with black, and then I put the other colors in there.
In terms of the black, is there does it signify something? Is it just a natural response to you as a point of departure for paintings? It's a very interesting approach.
Yes. I don't know. I like the color black. I like to put the design down first, right, and then add the colors.
Okay. Have you noticed over time that your themes may be changing, or
Yes.
can you talk about that for us?
What happens is the idea when I paint kind of has like a change. After a certain amount of time, I paint certain things like trees and you know, stuff like that, you know, abstract trees and stuff.
COVID-19 has had an influence on lots of us.
Yes.
And it's changed the way we do things, and it's given us reason to do other things. And sometimes we think, oh, we want to go back to the way things were. But it may be the case that we never really go back, either as a culture or as a person.
Okay.
What has been your response to COVID-19, and particularly, has it had an impact on you as an artist or on your work as an artist?
Honestly, I see it, when it has an effect on my art, I can't really go anywhere, but it lets me stay home and paint more.
Okay.
The COVID-19 thing, I know it's a serious thing, there's a lot of people sick with it, but I kind of like keep occupied in the art, like drawing, sketching, you know, finding an outlet, so I don't think about things like that. You know, kind of like the COVID. I'm not in fear of it. I don't want it. You can't get rid of it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So, but the effect it has on me in the art and stuff is I just sit at home and just keep drawing and sketching and painting. You know, stuff like that.
So it's given you more time to be able to focus on the art.
Yes.
As you look to your future, what do you expect to be doing down the line? Do you think your art will change? Will what's going on in the culture affect your art? Or does your art really flow from within,
It does.
and you might not notice the culture changing?
Yes. When I'm out and about for a day, sometimes I go home and get ideas and stuff. You know, like, I don't know, just, I see a building. I do some photography too. I got a lot of good scenic views of Reading. So when I go home, it does kind of influence me to paint different things, like a collage of houses with a dark at night, and it has a blue moon and stuff, but abstract houses, you know.
I'm hearing something very interesting. So
Okay.
you look at the world, maybe. You talked about it in New York. You talked
Yes.
about now when you're out and about.
Yeah.
So you're seeing things and you're watching things. Do you see them with an eye to painting them? Do you look for inspiration in things? Is that kind of a way where...
It just naturally happens.
And you remember the things as well.
Yeah.
So your imagination is provoked by what you see and what you remember.
Yeah. I'm not like a what do they call that, still life kind of person.
Okay.
But it always comes out abstract for me, like if I'm thinking about something and I try to put it on canvas, right? What happens is it comes out in an abstract way.
Okay. You mentioned moments ago that you know when a painting is finished. So I think sometimes artists don't always know when a painting is finished, and they might have to have coaching to help them understand, oh, this is good or good enough, and
Okay.
don't do anymore because it might change what's going on. How do you know when a painting is concluded and when you're not going to work on it anymore?
Well, every once in a while I make a bad omelet.
You make a bad omelet.
I make a bad omelet. I call it a bad omelet.
That
bad
means a
painting.
painting that you're not too pleased with.
Yeah, and I set it to the side, and see later on down the road. Sometimes I might come back to it. And say, I could fix that. I have an idea for it. It's like a paint over,
Sure.
or kind of like a fixer upper. And just put it in the side. Put it in your room or something, and take it out and just.
So then you really never you really never have a sense of wasting time or wasting product or anything, because these bad omelets come back, and do you study them, or it just comes to you, oh, I can do this with this now?
I kind of do both. It comes natural sometimes. I might be looking at a painting that I goofed up. I'm looking at it, you know what, if I had this color or that color to it, I bet you that would look neat. Sometimes I might add a color here, color there, it doesn't turn out, so I paint over it black, put a new picture on it.
So you might start the whole thing over if the omelet just can't be repaired.
Right.
The apple, I'm having a sense that nature may be an influence to you.
I love nature. I go hiking up in the mountains with my uncle. I was raised country city boy.
Okay.
My grandfather was a hunter, a fisherman, and when I was growing up, I was taught to hunt and fish. I love the woods. They live in the woods, and I love nature. There's times when I'm walking around Reading, I just look at the trees, I look at everything, and it's like, thank you, Lord, for letting me live to see this nature.
What a great thing. That's wonderful. I'm always interested in a person's studio. Okay. What is the environment like where you paint? Do you have a room, or do you paint in part of a room?
It's a small apartment.
Okay.
I paint in the kitchen. What was I going to say? Yeah, I paint in the kitchen. I have a small room, and the environment is kind of dark a little bit. I have lights, bright lights and stuff. I kind of notice, like, sometimes when I'm painting, I don't know if it's my eyes or if it's the lighting in the room. And what happens is like, it's hard to see what you're painting sometimes because the lights aren't bright enough.
So in the best of all possible worlds, you'd like to paint in a brighter environment if that could happen.
Yeah.
When you look at the paintings of other people, when you look at artists, and then you look at your own paintings, what is your thought about what it means to be an artist?
I like natural flow. What goes on inside someone that comes out on paper or canvas or something. I like to see things that you don't just paint. You feel it when you paint it. You know what I mean? Okay. Or it just becomes like a fun thing, creativity and stuff like that.
Your favorite time to paint is in the evening or in the daytime?
At night.
Or at night?
At night.
What does night bring? Does it stimulate maybe your imagination or creativity in a way that the day does not?
Yeah, it does that. In the daytime, you have too many things going on. Got to do this, got to do that, got phone calls, things like that, but you get to stay up and just paint, just distractions.
So without all the distractions of the day.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah.
Charles, it's been great talking to you. Thank you so much. Your perspective on the world and on art is very fascinating.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.